It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Tokwe Mwakodige. How you doing? Real estate guru. I think I should start calling you what you are.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good. I have weekends.
Oh.
Can't. I have children, the life of responsibilities that we need to take care of. But I'm grateful to God. I'm trying to smile and, focus on the positives of life. But I'm really, really tired.
Are you for real?
Yes, I need rest.
I know that feeling.
You'll be all right.
Used to be there.
You know our Kirakita. She always remember at the end of the day, we have to rest. And at the end of the day, we have to ensure that, the whole thing is worthwhile.
Yeah.
Let us not just do all this up and down for now. But God will give you strength.
Amen.
How you doing, Nima Akasha Zipiri?
Nima has been throwing some correct dresses.
Rice merchant?
Legal lumine.
Yes, sir.
Rice merchant, but lawyer first.
Lawyer
Yes.
first.
Because my law firm is in India. Today is Mrs. Olubumi Adubara upstairs in the place.
Oh, Mrs. Atubari. I love mentioning her name.
She has reached the peak of the 5th floor. And so she'll be descending to, ascending to the next.
Oh, okay.
She's
So
55 today.
yeah, so she
Happy
has.
birthday, ma.
He's perfectly in between.
Yes, perfectly. She has caught it.
Congratulations to Mrs.
Yes.
Pastor.
Happy
Her husband is a pastor. Yeah, pastor.
I'm sure she's Pastor Mrs.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, ma. She's with such calmness. Anytime I see her, she just calms me the way she talks to me. So
I don't like doing birthdays, but I have to acknowledge today is the birthday of Chief Razak Akoni Okoya.
Wow.
He's 82
I
today.
don't understand why you say you don't like doing
I
birthdays.
don't like doing birthdays.
That one is
but
not-
that I have to mention it today because he was at my mother's, his family, his family is really close family. He's a good man, support, friendly, nice, and he's healthy. Happy. You're gonna say I'm enjoying life.
Well.
He's
No, he's
enjoying
82,
life.
Abi.
82 today.
82
today. Happy birthday, sir. Thank you very much for your support, your love for the family. God bless you. He never left us, and he's always there. How you doing, Mariam?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm
Accomplished
just
actor.
Published author. Your color is bright though,
Yes.
And I love the jewelry. Oh my
thank
goodness, I've
you.
been admiring it since morning.
Thank you. Plush, I've forgotten her name. Yes. Oh, I'm so she was so upset with me.
Oh,
I'm
my
so sorry.
goodness.
No. Jewels by Plush, something. Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. You've seen it before and you've admired it before.
Are you for
but
real?
Thank you again. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. I'm just so happy. My book, I'm getting, reviews. Yes, I'm getting reviews. The children love it.
International reviews.
Someone told me that your son loves my book. You didn't tell me. The person said, do you know that I was looking for him? I could not find him, and then I found him reading the book. And she's like, do you like the book? She's like, yes, I really love the book. So I'm so happy. And I'm getting reviews from the children. So I can't wait to get reviews from your kids, and then I'll put it up. So I'm so happy about this.
That's your constituency, and I'm so happy they love the book.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, I mean, interestingly, I've been quite, somebody was trying to find me yesterday for a meeting, and I was like, okay, meet me in TVZ. Oh, I've left. Okay, meet me in Nikojo. I've left. Okay, meet me in
Are you everywhere?
So I just realized that you have to, just like you said, we have to calm down. Let's just take it easy. This life is not this difficult. But this is our hustling season.
Yeah.
We should hustle now.
I think it's okay to hustle during the day. I think my channel, I did not sleep at night. So it just now destabilizes the...
But can I just take a little time to just appreciate how pretty you look today, Mara?
Yes, you really do look very beautiful.
Some guys be admiring me for my fashion. You know how to say it. But I like the hair. I like the hair.
Everything today.
Is the everything for me?
Yeah.
All right, let's go on a quick break. Let me act pretty. I'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We'll start with the nation. Convention, divided APC governors seek Buhari's help. Eagles soar above Pharaohs in AFCON tie. Why businesses are shrinking by World Bank. Umahi joins 2023 presidential race. Flags fly at half-mast for ex-head of state Shonekong. Excitement over Tinubu's presidential bid declaration. Coast clear for Lekan Balogun as Olubadan. And $130 million contract. Court remands Saipen MD and others. All right.
Yeah, so let me just take former head, one-time head of state, former head of the interim government, Ernest Shonekan has passed away, and his family said that he passed away from natural causes, and the country, of course, is commiserating with the family. They said the Nigerian flag will fly at half-mast for 3 days, you know, in celebration of his life. And there's so many good things that have been said about him, and we know the pivotal role that he played at that time in our country where we were not sure where we were going. But we thank him for the service that he provided our country, and we pray that he rests in peace, and we pray for the family that God grant them the fortitude to bear the loss.
Right.
So the World Bank Group President David Malpass, you know, was talking at the Global Economic Prospects Report launch yesterday, and he said that certain factors are responsible for businesses shrinking in the world today, and he highlighted that most countries affected are third countries and developing countries. He listed Nigeria as one of them. He said the reasons for the shrinking businesses are soaring interest rates, rising inflation, and the impact of COVID-19, among others that he highlighted. He also talked about how important, you know, the world must look at these factors as helping. He said most privately run businesses are the ones affected. You know, we talk about, you know, certain taxes that has to be placed now for the country to be able to meet revenue. But I would love that Nigeria picks these factors that the World Bank is giving and plan their economic policies around it to help businesses, because you need their taxes, but they must survive to pay that tax.
So I want to take the governor of Ebonyi State, Mai, has joined those declaring. You know, so we've been hearing speculations from different people, but now we're entering the season of declaration. On Monday, the APC stalwart Bola Tinubu declared, former governor of Lagos State, I'm quoting, declared to the president that he's interested. Then the current governor, who decamped from PDP to APC because he felt that that would strengthen his bid to presidency, hoping that APC will cede the seats for presidency to the southeast, has declared also that he wants to join the race for the presidency in 2023. Then when asked, based on everybody's declaration, what would happen, he said that the Bible, that he trusts God, that it is by not by his power shall any man prevail, but by God, you know. So we're seeing many declarations.
Okay, congratulations to the Nigerian Eagles.
Congratulations.
They won the match yesterday against the
Eagles defeated Pharaohs.
Yes.
The Eagles soared.
Yeah.
Moriam,
I don't put all my hope in this. It's just the first step.
Oh,
Mom is very, very careful.
I'm so careful. I don't want people to break my heart, I beg.
Yeah, there's a stubborn fly. Okay, let's move on quickly to the Punch. This is a very stubborn fly. Buni Malami moved to block convention. Governors rise against interim party chair. Umahi meets Buhari, declares 2023 presidential ambition. $130 million payment. Saipen ND accused remanded. Court orders 3 expatriates arrested. Again, suspected herdsmen strike in Ondo, kill 2 on farm, gun down 3 rescuers. Jealous Lagos husband stabs pregnant wife's admirer to death. FG overshoots debt servicing by 1.15 trillion in 11 months, says document. 2,248 megawatts of power stranded monthly in 2021 despite blackouts. And subsidy mobilized for protests, and LC directs affiliates and CSOs. Okay, which story are we taking?
Human interest. The jealous husband that stabbed his pregnant wife's lover, supposedly. So this man is a keke, and his wife's name is in the story, but he was told by his neighbor that the deceased in the story, Daniel, was in an illicit affair with his wife.
Wow.
But provoked, he attempted to attack him. Daniel ran into his apartment, locked the door. The suspect then went back, got a knife, and went into back into the apartment, and before they knew it, Daniel was stabbed and bleeding. He was rushed to the hospital. He got there, they tried to save him, but he died. He didn't make it. By the time the neighbors got back, husband and wife settled their whatever differences and decided to escape together. So they've not been found in this story, but that poor man has been declared dead already. The body has been deposited for autopsy, and the Commissioner of Police is saying that they'll do everything. The matter has been referred to the State CID for investigation and arresting. But for me, I'd like that what's it called? The informant be arrested along with this person, as having provoked or given an information. He must be able to authenticate that information that he gave, because this is becoming too much.
Yeah, but sadly, the informant there's nothing that will happen with the informant.
All right, let's.
He gave an information. The man decided to carry out what he carried out.
Giving a false information, and
let's
that
go on a break.
is.
When we come back, we'll continue with it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we're still reviewing Punch, and I was going to take the story from the Ministry of Finance and Budget. Mrs. Zainab Ahmed was showing that we actually spend an extra actually spent extra 1.1 trillion naira on debt servicing. We had initially, you have that, sorry. You had initially budgeted 4.2 trillion naira, but we spent extra 1.15 trillion naira. And interestingly, it was also spent about, I think, 200 on sinking funds. We spent about 600 million on sinking funds. And though we had budgeted about 900 for domestic debt servicing, the 2.2 was spent on. So, I mean, pretty much in a nutshell, we have overshot what we had initially budgeted for, and this is not good for us because that means that's just debt servicing. We're not even just for capital expenditure.
So I want to take the story of suspected herdsmen striking in Ondo State. So according to this story, there had been an attack in the village 4 days earlier. This is Molege village around the Ose local government area of Ondo State. Then yesterday, there was another attack by herdsmen, this time killing 5 persons in the Arimojiga environment. So they said that these people were in the farm. 3 people got killed. The injured ones now went to go and get people to help them rescue. I mean, people that were not injured went to get people to rescue the injured ones. 2 that came to rescue now also got killed. So total number of those that got killed were 5. That they attacked those working on the farms. The police already confirmed the incidents, but did not give details if it was really herdsmen or general attack. Said that they would investigate to find out what happened. The Amotekun Corps also said that these men are now stationed in that village to prevent any future attacks.
Okay, moving on quickly to, you have a story?
Yes.
Okay.
So the River State High Court has remanded the managing director of Saipem Contracting, Mr. Walter Peviana, and one other, Mr. Kelechi Chinakwe, in Port Harcourt. And it says for alleged conspiracy to cheat with intent and with intent to defraud the River State government of $130 million. They said the fund was supposed to be an advance payment for the construction of the OCGT power plant in Port Harcourt. So in between is a lot of legalese. I think
there are 3 others that were issued bench warrants. For bench warrants is that they've escaped, and the court decided that since they are not showing up, we issued a warrant for their arrest immediately from the bench. They are there are 3 expatriates: Giano Domenico Zingali, Vito Testaguza, and David Anelli. 3 of them are also part of the board of that company, but they are at large.
Okay. Daily Sun quickly, 2023 presidency, Umahi challenges Tinubu, joins race. UNILAG produces 238 first-class graduates. IPOP declares war on hoodlums enforcing sit at home. Shake up in military as new GOCs, commanders, defense spokesmen, others appointed. Buhari, IBB, Jonathan, Lawan, Atiku, Kalu, Ayim, Governors Mon, Shonekom. Picture here of newly recruited 1,000 Osun State teachers during the pre-engagement training program at the Ministry of Education. APC sets June deadline for national convention. And AFCON, Nigeria outshined Egypt 1-0. Okay, which story are we taking?
So there's been sort of some skirmish happened in Enugu on Monday. Some hoodlums, or according to them, Eastern Security Network members were trying to enforce the sit-at-home order. And now the spokesperson for IPOB has said that IPOB was in no way involved in the sit-at-home order, and neither was the ESN officially involved, that these are hoodlums and that the hoodlums should be dealt with, that it's not their issue anymore. They also said that they would step out of the bushes and help ensure that anyone involved in enforcing sit-at-home order is dealt with accordingly. I feel that we shouldn't leave, and I know that people have a right to express themselves, but securing lives and property is the job of the police, and we have active police in work. Working in those eastern states. Let them work so that people will not take law into their hands, and they will now avoid further bloodshed that is avoidable.
So the director of the Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, has announced the appointments of new principal officers, general officers commanding, and director defense information. And the report in the Sun carries the entire list of the new formations and new heads across the Nigerian Army. It's a long list that I cannot take immediately.
Okay, I was going to take the story about UNILAG, University of Lagos, just graduating 12,217 graduates at the 52nd convocation. And interestingly, they have about 238 first-class students. 63 first-class were in engineering, 36 from faculties of pharmacy, and a young woman, Elizabeth Ekeoshe, of the Faculty of Science, Department of Zoology, emerged the overall best graduating student with 4.95 CGPA. Goodness.
She did not fail any course.
And then she was followed closely by Oluwaseyi Atonronshe, of Faculty of Management Sciences, Department of Accounting, 4.92 CGPA. I mean, this is some good numbers here.
That's what we used to call them.
Right. And so there was a 68-year-old woman, actually, who also graduated from the Faculty of Education. She got PhD, becoming the oldest graduate at the 2019-2020 academic year. I mean, good numbers for
very good.
Yesterday.
Very impressive.
So there was 10 killed. I don't know if that is in the Sun. 10 killed. Okay. Yes, 10 killed. Scores trapped in the building. Yes. So
that was in Tribune.
Very sad.
In the Sun.
Very sad story of something that happened in Salvation Ministry at Okwanam local government of Delta State. There was a church service going on. Apparently, the church was undergoing construction. The church was doing remodeling. They say there's a phase to the construction work. They came to church early, the beginning of the year, fasting and prayer. So they came to church for prayers and communion. And while they were clapping and praying, they heard a crack. And the children's section of the church collapsed.
Oh my God.
Most of the church collapsed, but it affected more of the children's section doing their Bible study. 10 have been confirmed killed. 10 killed. There are many trapped within the church. The men of the Delta State Emergency Management are trying to see how they can rescue more people. My own concern is, we know when a building is under construction, when you are doing activities there,
it puts pressure on
it puts pressure, and usually when these things still, houses settle after a while, so it hasn't settled yet. And we've had these things happen before. These are avoidable situations.
We just need the enforcement. A lot of buildings are occupied and they are being built. A lot across the country.
And if you talk this,
moving on quickly, somebody should take responsibility for this one, so it doesn't happen again. Vanguard, Super Eagles off to flying start. Yeah. Crisis festers as 3 northern governors hijack party. Let's find a story we have not taken. UN reappoints Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General. COVID-19 teachers, students with high temperature shouldn't be allowed into school, says NCDC. Shocking tales of cult gangs terrorizing Lagos. Bandits headsmen on rampage in Kaduna or your Plateau kill 9 and abduct 12. Okay, which story are we taking?
Yeah, so Nigeria's Amina Mohammed has been reappointed United Nations Deputy Secretary General. The UN Secretary General says that Ms. Mohammed's leadership helped advance the conceptual shift from the UN that member states called for in adopting the Sustainable Development Goals. They said over the last 5 years, the United Nations SDG group has strengthened to enhance global leadership and oversight for development, and the United Nations established a strengthened United Nations resident coordinator system as the foundation of a more effective development system, the UN said in a statement. So all in all, it's just that she has made an impact. And of course, there's no reason but to have her back. Arewa Consultative Forum, of course, they already showed that.
All of us in Nigeria is our daughter.
Yes,
he's all of us. He's a pride to this country.
Well.
He just scored. He's our pride.
Yeah.
Everybody, we're all together. When we score much like that, we are all Nigerians.
Yeah.
When we go to say, we become Secretary General, we are all Nigerians.
So
let not us religion and...
Can we all be brothers?
Exactly.
Stand up against, the banditry that's happening.
Because the Zamfara killing that happened, everybody has been silent on it.
Brothers, yes.
We talked about this since that 200 people died, and
it's wrong.
It's their problem, not our problem.
Another very
all of us together.
saddening report is the Metro report in the Vanguard on cultism in Lagos. It took a total, because I know these things, so a total audit of areas and the predominant cultist groups in those areas, from the Awawa boys in Agor, Magege, Ogba, and Yanokwaja areas to the Cocoa Court in and Eye Court in Satellite Town, and a lot of other areas, Bado Group in Ikorodu, all of them. And they talked about how the initiation starts from primary to secondary schools in the Vanguard report. Also how they pose as orcas during the day, cultists at night, and also their days of attack.
During the day.
Orcas during the day, and something monsters at night, and also they are in clash days. The confirmed clash dates are 7/7, July 7th, August 8th, and September 9th of every year, where they do reprisal attacks against clash attacks, supposed attack by other.
This is a lot of information.
It is a full audit of what is the reality. Now that I would expect that nobody else should be on this story but the Commissioner of Police in Lagos. And this is a matter of urgency for the governor as well. Yeah. Because whether we like it or not, this is what prevails around us. Absolutely. The constant attacks and all those robberies on the road.
Okay. So NCDC, once again, is reminding us that we should, especially for schools, teachers and students with high temperature shouldn't be allowed into schools, and we should continue to observe the COVID-19 guidelines in order to curb the spread of the Omicron virus especially. We need to work together as a country. And he's saying that school operators not to allow teachers and students with high temperatures within their premises. Okay, moving on quickly to the Nigerian Tribune. Let's see how much time we have. How PDP will decide its presidential ticket, says Wike. 10 fear dead in Asaba church building collapse. 5 killed as suspected headsmen attack Undo community. Insurgency, over 300,000 children killed in Northeast, says UNICEF. Ibadan traditional institution must revert to its original concept, says Makinde. And universities in Nigeria have 100,000 lecturers for 2.1 million students, says NUC. Okay, which story have we not taken?
UNICEF has disclosed on Monday when the governor of Borno State, Governor Zulum, signed the child protection bill into law. And I think that is something we should applaud, because we still have a few more states that still haven't signed that into law. And what this would mean for the children of Borno State is that UNICEF is saying that it's a victory for the children of the state, including the recognition of a legal framework for their protection against recruitment and use by armed groups child labor and sexual abuse, among other violations of their rights. So at this event also, the UNICEF says that over 300,000 children have been killed in the Northeast in 12 years of this insurgency that, we've been fighting. It says that in Borno State alone, more than 330,000 children are out of school, according to UBEC. And so signing this into law, it's sort of like a victory for them. And, we just hope that one day and very soon, our president, has said that he will make sure that he does not leave until this war against insurgency is contained. Please.
Okay, so I have the NUC story. The Deputy Executive Secretary, Administration of the NUC, Mr. Chris Mayaki, has lamented the shortage of lecturers in our universities. He says that there are just 100,000 academic staff members teaching and supervising over 2.1 million students in the universities across the country. And he's saying that the federal government should exempt, universities from federal government circular on new employment to enable the institutions recruit additional lecturers. This is overwhelming. And to think that, they still have issues of ASU and payments when we just have 100,000, staff to deal with.
Lecturers.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So moving on to our next topic, which topic we're going to introduce to us. Go ahead, please.
So I've gotten several reports from different people concerning loan apps and the challenges that happen when you default from loan apps. I've taken the story in the papers. These loan apps are not your conventional money deposit banks. They are not your conventional registered businesses. They are just like a mushroom, everything online. They offer you money in exchange for access to your data, your phone, your BVN, all your basic details. And if for any reason anybody defaults on the payment, and their interest rates are outrageous, 20% for some cases, in a way that if you default your payment of loan in 3 to 6 months, maximum of a year, you are probably going to be paying double of what you borrowed. They don't borrow a lot of money, maybe like 100,000, 50,000 naira, and then they start sending these malicious text messages to every of your contacts through WhatsApp, through text messages, through phone calls.
To what end exactly? So that those people can pay back?
Yes, they threaten the people that are owing the money that if you don't pay by the end of this month, we will start sending messages to your contacts, and it would be malicious. It would paint you a bad person.
So usually they would have a picture of you, and then they would write some very threatening words, almost like, do not associate yourself with this person. This person, it's a chronic debtor that never pays, and were, talking to the police concerning that person. And they'll send it to all your contacts. So one of the reasons that this has become so, such a trending topic, everybody's talking about, is first of all, when they give you this money, there's a short period of time for you to pay. Secondly, the interest rate on it can be as high as 20 or more % for the amount of money that they give you. Then thirdly, there's no collateral, really. So what they hope to hold on to is your reputation. If we smear your reputation, smear your name, amongst your contacts of people that maybe are serious business partners or things like that, your employers or employees, then it would make you pay. But there are situations where it has caused some people to almost, to do things to themselves, because they feel, I cannot carry the shame of my employer finding out that I owe this amount of money, my co-workers finding that I owe this amount of money. And people are also asking, is it legal that you should take this person's information? Or even if I'm the contact that you reach out to, why are you reaching out to me? I did not sign any paper with you to say I'm a guarantor, or, and then you're sending this information to me. So is it illegal? Should we allow apps like this to carry on their businesses?
Let me read a few of the messages I get from several people. So the person is Steve, something. Say, good afternoon. Mr. Steve something of this social number is a chronic debtor who has been acting dubious and fraudulent towards repaying his overdue loan to a fintech company. Please help notify him to repay today to avoid taking legal action. Thanks. You can ignore this message if you had nothing to do with this person. If peradventure you get this message, kindly note that your detail was dropped from this said person when applying for this loan as an emergency contact. That's a lie. What they do is because when you download the app, you click accept. So you can't use it without allowing them access to your phone numbers. So they have access to all your phone numbers that you've ever saved on your line. And they send this to every contact. This is on WhatsApp. I got a text message from another app. And you're like -- with this phone number. They put the person's full name and phone number and said, got a loan that is 11 days overdue. Kindly help notify this person to prepay. Then 20 days overdue. And that's how they will be sending. So I'm even tired of receiving, because my number is a public number because I use number for business. Yeah. So many people have saved my number. People I don't even know.
Would have loved to get
so
somebody from the Ministry of Finance or CBN to come and tell us exactly how they're going to stop, because they're having issues with...
Yeah, go ahead. Honorable Aki Alabi moved a motion sometimes stating that these companies were invading personal data, and it was going against the Nigerian data protection regulation and other laws that we have. But from what Tokpa is saying, because you click that you approve of them accessing that data, you cannot then, I don't think you can come under this protection that the Nigerian data protection regulation provides, where you are taking the money. Wow. What I understand from them is that, you know, they are the typical traditional Olowele, the money lender. You know, olden days money lenders will tell you, don't worry, come and take 10 naira. When you take the 10 naira, they will not discuss with you in clear terms. Even though they say it, they will not discuss with you in clear terms how the money will be collected if you fail, what will happen upon default, how many months, moratorium you have before you start to pay, how many months do you have to, to gather yourself if you default, what happens. They don't discuss those details with you. You too, most Nigerians that I have seen are desperately going to borrow that money. In fact, there's a person that I know who borrows this money to bet. He will borrow the money to bet. Family members will gather around, clear the debt for him. When it becomes embarrassing, he will go back and do the same thing. So it is a choice that you make, and you must make it with clear eyes. But there's also prioritizing this scale of preference that we're taught in economics in school. It's very important. What is the most important thing to you alive? Someone said to me that, I had to borrow the money so I can buy diapers for my children. I said, auntie, if it comes worse, you use cloth. When I was having my second child, I said to my friends when they were trying to do showers for me, from my university, that can somebody just get me mother care? We call it mother care. The nappy. I was hoping, cloth nappies, I was hoping to use them for my first child. I couldn't get, because nobody gifted me, and I couldn't, my girlfriend refused to shop for me with those things. I need them. I don't understand. If I am thinking it's an alternative, right? Why are you not thinking that alternative when you have it?
But the angle I want us to
willing to cut your throat.
Why these apps must use such strong languages, to...
like an obituary of the young man.
Yeah, I just saw an obituary. There's a young man, Chinedu Daniel Azuwike, which was
already publicized his name.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so he was he defaulted only 5 days. Yeah. His payment was 5 days overdue. And therefore, they now published an obituary of him. And he was so angry that, why would you do that? Yes, I'm 5 days late. But you have no right. So my question, therefore, is that what right do they have to do something like this? Where you put out
you guys know an obituary that I know, that someone attempted suicide based on these loan apps. Because everybody around them started getting messages and calling him that, why are you owing this money? And attempted suicide, and many stories like that. Yes. Even when they got to the hospital, the doctors were like, I hope he was not owing money. That was even how we knew that we should ask if he's owing money, because the General Hospital in Lasut has had several cases of like people that attempted suicide, and the reason they did it is because they were getting text messages. People were calling them that, we got a message, you are owing money, how much are you owing, what's going on? So it's like a human being receiving phone calls from like 100 people, all asking you, we got a message with your name that you are owing money. You got a message with your name, you are owing. That in itself can kill someone. So these apps are not regulated, and they are making a kill.
So again, my question, to what end are they sending this message? Is it to go and make you to commit suicide?
No, it's
or
not.
to get those
Ask you
people
to pay.
To embarrass you into paying back.
Yes.
Well, you can't pay. You don't have the money. It's not by
No,
embarrassing
why
me.
would you to not have the money? So let's talk about cases let me try and play their case.
Yeah.
So there are businesses. They came into the country. They legitimately registered their businesses. They are not hiding. I can name some that we know that are regular. Nigerians voluntarily work to them. You as a person trying to take loan, ask for the clear terms, no gray areas. Ask clear questions. See the thing, if this cup is not going to work for me, can I get a smaller cup? Cut my size for me. Do you have my size? Where's the advice of cut your coat according to your size? Why do people not live within means anymore? For some people, it's some people that are just extremely desperate. You go there, you will take this loan, knowing that you don't have the means to pay back, hoping that by one miracle or something, it will. You see that thing that you're rushing to get, that thing will not kill you if you leave it.
You're right. See, I've heard of people who take it and do all sorts of things with it. They borrow from one to the other. But I've also heard of people who have borrowed it because they were in their need. People who had to just put a little more to pay rent, and they were so sure they work, they earn a living. But you know how sometimes, so one of the things that happens is that they put such a huge interest on it, and they give you such a short time to pay back. So now the question is, which you're right, when you were signing that or talking to them about it, didn't you know the specific, the specified time that you were supposed to make the payments? And you must have been aware of the interest rate on top of it. So you already know that you're going to be paying them quite a huge sum of money. What I don't agree with is the terms that they use. They criminalize you. Defaulting on a loan is not a crime. You cannot put someone's picture and put all those sorts of threatening messages. And I feel that is where the government should step in.
Yeah.
Please.
Let me take this call. I'll come to you in a second. Let me take Esther. Esther, are you there?
Hello?
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Esther.
I'm Esther calling from Igodu.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the
I've been trying to call this number over and over again. We've not been able to get through. I'm so happy today to be able to get through. On this discussion that you are on, I am so grateful that you brought it up. In fact, I have somebody very close to me that took Isaiah in order to kill herself for this case. She went to borrow money on this app, and they kept publicizing her name that she's a debtor and she's this, she's that. And because of this, she did not even tell her mom. She could not tell people that this is what she did. And she went to take Isaiah in order to kill herself because of this case. She was owing some people, and so she had to borrow money from these people so that she can pay the other people that she was owing. And even right now, luckily for her, she was able to see somebody who helped her and took her to the hospital on time. So that it happened this December, this last Christmas. Before Christmas, she wanted to kill herself for this same app. Please, kindly help us. Help us to tell the government to cancel such people. They shouldn't be in Nigeria. And because of the poverty in the country and because of a hardship in the country, people are desperate to go and borrow from wherever. And because there is no collateral, they will run to these people and they will give them.
Thank you very much, Esther.
By the time they give them,
thank you very much, Esther.
Please let me just, like I said, when this person got to the hospital, the first thing the doctor asked was, which one did he use to try and commit the suicide? And was he owing money? Because on a daily basis, the doctors at LASUT confirmed that they have several cases. Some are dead on arrival. They're already dead before they get to the hospital, and it is because of loans. So obviously, we have a challenge that I will see the consequences of the government not regulating that space. That one is on ground. Number two is the fact that many people are borrowing money that they don't need to borrow. And then they are borrowing money to pay off debt. So you borrow 100,000 naira. If you default for a week, you are supposed to pay 120. maybe you've got it for 2 weeks, that become 150. You now go and borrow 150 from another company to pay the to pay the previous 150. That means you're now going to have to pay that one back. So you're borrowing to pay back, and you have they find themselves in a loop where they don't know, there's no hope of how to get out. And that for me is, you need to evaluate. You don't borrow because you don't borrow to fund a lifestyle. No. Even though the government is doing it, you don't borrow for something that is not going to bring you money back.
Yeah. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we talk further on this. Stay with us. We'll be
right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So during the paper review, we took a very sad story about a building collapse that happened in Asaba, Delta State. And it's important for us to follow up on that story because we're told that some may have died. And we'd like to confirm. We have our correspondent, Amechi Ikena, who is in Asaba right now, TVC news correspondent, Asaba, to tell us what's going on there and if there's any updates on the amount of casualties that we have. Good morning, Amechi. Are you there?
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Coach, could you give us an update? So the paper said this morning there are about 10 victims or casualties that we have. Could you confirm that? And so far, what's the rescue response like in Asaba?
All right. Yesterday, when the building collapsed around 5 p.m., we had the different government officials and, of course, Red Cross and police coming here to ensure that the place is cordoned off. And at the end, people were reporting that there were 10 people that died during the building collapse. But what we got was yesterday when the secretary to the state government came and observed everything, and later he gave updates that no one died as of yesterday, that 18 people were rescued and were receiving treatment at various hospitals here in Asaba. But sadly, this morning, we got the news from the police command here that 3 people actually died, 2 children, female children, and a lady. Their identity is yet unknown for now, but we can confirm that 3 people are dead as of now. 11 are receiving treatment, while 4 have been since discharged from the hospital. And we can confirm that some people are still here trying to, the church actually came, some of the church members came here to pack some of their instruments from the building, which collapsed yesterday. And unfortunately, the building, a lot of questions have to be answered about what happened and how it happened. But it's something that the government has to really go into and probe and see who is at fault here that caused the death of these 3 people. Because as we can see, this building, if you can see some part of the building, is actually being renovated as at the time the incident happened yesterday. It was actually being renovated. And for a building that is under renovation and people are, inside the building, it has a lot of questions to be answered. And why will it be renovated? Why people are inside? And why the person decided to renovate it? Because the church is actually not a confirmed story, information. The church is saying that it was a rented building for the church, Salvation Ministries here in Opanam. And they're supposed to have, the owner of the building actually sold the building to another person. So it's a new owner. And that new owner is the one trying to renovate the building. While the church...
All right, Amechi, are you still there? Amechi, we still need to ask you a few questions. Yes. Amechi, could you confirm if you can hear me?
Because we heard that they were asked to evacuate. And I think that's what he's saying.
Amechi, all right, so let me get a few more questions in for you.
So my concern is that while you're talking live at the scene of this collapse, I can see activities behind you. Who is in charge of rescue on this building, on this site right now? Is it the government or the people are helping themselves?
Like I said yesterday, the government and every government agent that are supposed to be responsible came here and they rescued a lot of people, about 18 people. And the rescue mission actually ended that last night. And they found out that nobody is actually trapped under the rubble here. And so
allowing people,
as you can see,
access this place right now.
No, they are not allowed. Those people that you see there, they are people that either they are the church member, because there are police actually here cordoning off the area. People you see here are either journalists or people that are responsible to, remove some things that might actually want to fall, because this particular part of the building you can see behind me here is actually about to fall. If any small force is applied to it, it will actually cave in as well. So there are some people here actually working on the building, ensuring that they remove some parts, and that's what is happening right now. That's why you can see some activities going on behind me. But the government officials, the Red Cross, everybody was here yesterday to ensure that rescue mission was done, and it was done successfully.
Amechi, please help us. I think what Nima is trying to say, we understand rescue mission ended yesterday, but having citizens having access to something that is still can still possibly come down is also risky, don't you think?
And carrying funds.
I said people that are allowed in here are actually people authorized to be here. Me as a journalist, I'm authorized to be here. And then other people that are working on the site to ensure they remove some other parts are actually authorized. And then earlier on, some of the church members assessed the building, and we're trying to remove some of their property that are actually rescued from the collapse.
Let me get one more question
for
you.
Other people there.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we got reports that this building was, like you mentioned, sold, and that the church has been asked to evacuate. Was the church asked to evacuate because the building obviously is under construction?
I wouldn't really confirm that yet, that the building, the church did not want to evacuate the building, because it's under a new ownership, and since it's under a new ownership, and the church feel that their rent haven't been expired under the old ownership, they still have the rights to be in the building. But I wouldn't get the detail of whether they actually were forcing them out of the building, or they were still saying that it's possible for them to even stay in the building while the building is being renovated. It's still not confirmed yet, but the fact is it's under a new ownership, and the new owner is renovating the church, which is, to me, it's not supposed to be done while people are still living. Those who are actually living in the ground floor have actually vacated the building. It's only the church, which is in the first floor, that remained in the building. So while the building collapsed, there was nobody trapped underneath, because of people that were there before. They have already relocated to another place before now.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you this question, please, based on your conversation yesterday when the rescue mission was taking place, and you said, I think the deputy governor was there. Who is going to be taking responsibility for this collapse now? There are many things that shouldn't happen that happened. The church shouldn't have been in a construction site. The construction site should have ensured that the church evacuated. Is it the new landlord that will take responsibility? Or the church?
If you can repeat what you said, I didn't get that very well. Please, can you repeat, please?
In a nutshell, who will take responsibility? The new owners, the church, who will be prosecuted?
That is where the government have to come in. Because, like we told the secretary to the state government, when the question was put to him yesterday, he actually said investigation from today we commence on what actually happened. And today I confirm to you that earlier the Commissioner for Environment was here to see things for himself. And of course, in about 11 a.m. today, the Deputy Governor will be arriving here to see things for himself. And also, other government officials like those in charge of buildings definitely will be here to know and they will take action and investigate on who is actually culpable of this particular damage that have caused the life of 3 people and, of course, injuring others. So for now, it's still not clear who will take responsibility. But for what I'm seeing, I know that the new owner of the building will definitely have a lot of questions to answer.
Okay, let me get one.
I also want to find out about for those who are injured and rescued and have been taken to the hospital, is there any confirmation that they are getting the care that they need to recover, and that maybe payments will that be made by the government, or is the church stepping in for those victims?
Well, I can't confirm whether government is actually taking responsibility for the payment of their medical bills, but they have been taken to, some of them, to government hospitals and others to a private hospital here. So for the church, definitely, I don't know if they will take responsibility of the medical bill, who will take the medical bill.
Right, thank you, Amechi. Thank you very much for joining us this morning to give us an update on this building collapse. We've been speaking with our TVC News correspondent in Asaba, Delta State, Mr. Amechi Ikena. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about what happened and hear your thoughts on it. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, I mean, in Lagos, we're kind of almost used to building collapsing here and there because we hear about it a lot. When it happens in a situation where it's clear that a building was under renovation, usually when buildings are under renovation, some people evacuate, I mean, and others find a place to stay. I mean, well, if it's not the full building that's been renovated, it's just a portion of it. Some people still stay and maintain use of that building. But in this case, it seems like the new owner wanted to do a total renovation. But in your view, what do you think could have done? How do we prevent something like this? Because the guys on the ground floor obviously evacuated. So they knew something was going to happen. I mean, they knew that renovation is ongoing. But the church was adamant. And they kept children in there. Now, my question, therefore, is who takes responsibility? Is it the church? Is it the parish pastor? Is it the new owner for not ensuring that they complete evacuation before it continues? Or, as usual, as we like to say, the government?
So this matter is something that I'm very familiar with. When an old owner sells...
It's a big church, to add. ...is
building out, so a new owner. The new owner must know that by law you inherit the tenants. They must use their time. And if you must evacuate or evict them, you give them the legal notices, and then you also give them the period of time that they become statutory tenants to finish, and then you go to court to evict them. The court has to order their eviction. That's the process. There's no other process to it. But in Nigeria, when you have a new owner buy a building, they will come to you and say, I've changed, your owner have changed. Your landlord is not good. They'll just write you a letter. Everybody should leave. I want to renovate. And so you now have tenants running up and down. I have people on as fans of the show that send me messages every time. Our landlord say, our landlord say. Yes, and when you are giving them the law, they'll be saying, no, I want to go human rights and all of that. I said, okay, go and do whatever other measures that you think. When the new owner comes like that, you must wait, you must buy with that knowledge that time must use itself. Time must be spent on that. That 6-month notice you give them, you go to court, wait out the court process for their eviction order. When you have that order, you come with a court bailiff and police officers to enforce that order. Then you are free of any liability. In this case now, there's a problem. There's also negligence on the part of the church members, insisting on staying on a building under construction and putting their people in harm's way. Now, this is whether those people are willing to sue them. Whatever kind of consequence falls on the building owner, he can push also to the part of the church owners because other people left the building.
Yeah. So there is this gentleman's agreement that, okay, we're renovating, you guys don't have a place to go yet. you can continue to use this space until you find a new place, because you can't just evacuate a church. They need to find a new place to worship. So in that kind of situation, there's that gentleman's agreement of, while we are renovating this side, you guys can use that side. Now, is that still, can he be?
I say, so I have I have issues with churches that are on the first floor of a building. The reason I have issues with that is because the heavy weight of the jumping around, moving, marching, was never put into consideration when the buildings usually get built. You know, probably the level of activity that moving around in church would generate could never be factored into when they were building that house. That's the one. So, and I see many churches that are one church is on the first floor, take another church on the floor. And I'm wondering, when they built this house, it was built for office complex, not for you to have churches, drums, the vibration, walking around. It does not. That's not what they expect. The clapping, yes. So all that drama was not expected. There should be a scientific review from the government on all those kind of places so that we prevent it before it happens.
Let me take this call. That comes to Mariam. Abimbola, are you there from Bagada? Hello. Oh, we lost that call.
Please, just a quick addition. If there is any letter from the new owners asking the church to go, it's the church that will take responsibility.
So they become liable.
Yes, because that letter shows that we have told you to leave.
Like that. Because the church still has to, if the church have a subsisting rent, they have to use it. If they don't have, did you wait?
So this is a court because
yes, because we've heard of situations where a landlord has given notice and the occupants have refused to leave. So you see a landlord come and take off the roof of the house, hoping that the rain will send you out packing. I'm just wondering if that was the situation where the church is saying we're going nowhere, and say, well, then we'll do the construction around you. But my question now remains for the parents of the children that thought it was wise to put their children in a building that was under construction.
We don't think what do you think? Maria, we don't think this thing now.
No, we do.
We don't think it through. We are carrying.
I think it through. And you know what I'm worried about is this church influence. This is the second one where it comes up, you know, like maybe Christianity or Christians don't really think about the science and the physics of things, and they're, you know, hoping on God to step in. I mean, it is so wrong that a church would allow children to be put in such a precarious situation.
This is such an important point you've made, where I'd like us to dwell on it. But let me take Victor. Victor, are you there? Hello, Victor, are you there? I think we're having issues with our phone lines today. So Maria raised this spiritualizing everything. So if I were a member of that church, and I said that they're renovating, and I'm believing it's a church now. God will protect us. We came here to worship. God will definitely protect us. Yes. So where do we therefore draw the line between science, the physics of these kind of things? Where as a parent, now, not just, now we're talking because we've seen an accident happen. But as a parent, should you begin to start considering, okay, this building is not right, so can we worship there? Because you don't think about that as a parent. You expect that the church would automatically have done all the safety measures so that you can worship it with peace of mind. So the parent is not thinking that. He's thinking it's safe.
Please begin to think that. Begin to think like a parent first. A parent, the first thing you do is to protect your children. The other one that happened in Ikoyi, we saw all the information that said it had been reported to the owner of the building that, you know, there were some discrepancies. And then we saw videos of him doing like a church service or something to just show the power of God. I just don't like that some Christians are making God seem like, you know, like God does not know what he's doing. So please, when it comes to things like this, when it comes to science, we should have a government official or government body that enforces people to evacuate when the construction is going on. The problem I also know government may have, because sometimes when you step in, when church is involved, it's seen as if this is a spiritual attack. The devil has come to attack us. So we need, you know, I get where government is. A lot of times when we talk about church and policies and the laws and enforcement, there's always a clash. So Nigerians, parents, please, let's think differently.
Let me take this call. Victor, again, are you still there?
Are you sure our phone's on?
Hi, Victor, from Italy. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Oh. Good morning, Victor. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. I'm your first-time caller. I'll be trying for the
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, about the building, the collapse of building in Nigeria. The building about the collapse of building in Nigeria. You see, sometimes we don't always take the specification of whatever we are laying on, whatever foundation we are laying.
This is not working.
Okay, so his internet is a bit delayed. But,
So Tope raised the issue of the building and then the conversion of the use of the building. So a person might just, do their building, maybe had the intention to just rent it and make money from it. And you have a different purpose. There should be a specific kind of building that you'll be searching for when you want to do a church. What I see more in my own area is that shops are converted to churches.
No
and,
ventilation.
No ventilation. They're built with, just the shops, and you see them just collapse the walls, and somebody just starts one something ministry, and miracles start to happen.
Yeah.
Whoever, I don't know, because I don't want to just, say the wrong terms now, but someone should be able to insist that this is what this building was meant for, and that's the only use.
I think there's a ministry in Lagos that does
carry,
that actually handles that.
If I'm thinking off my head now, because we do only residentials, this is what that building is meant for, and that's the only activity that can happen there. The same thing with the industrial estates. When, people spring up industrial estates, and then you have some residential estates springing up around saying that it's habitable. My daughter was asking me recently that, Mom, this area that you're talking about, because you're always talking about pollution, are we going to be, the environment there, is it going to be clean air? And I was confused because I'd never thought about it in that particular area that we're proposing that, would there be clean air? But there'll be industries around there. So somebody should be enforcing that, the environmental policies that align with buildings. Also that occupational policies that buildings must be meant for. A building can be built for offices that's going to carry a number of hours during the day.
But it brings up the question. Someone like my own church, now we have a mission to make sure that there is a church in every 5 minutes. So to achieve that, it is only offices that are there. It is the office I'll use. I don't have to do...
No, most of your people, at least the one opposite...
Let me take Hassan. Hassan, are you there?
They start in...
Hello, Hassan, are you there? Hello, Hassan, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, you're live. Can you increase the volume a bit? Yes.
Please, let me remind you of something that happened recently. The Ikoyi collapse. And I saw the drama by different professionals coming to TVC to defend themselves.
Yes.
I'm into structural aspect of building. You see, all these things they're talking about is a way of lowering their image. It's a way of exonerating themselves. The real issue that is causing the building collapse is the greed on the part of the engineer, of the designer, of whosoever is concerned about that building. People are not sincere. People should rise up and be on the side to supervise, to see the quality of what is being put into the building. People don't do that. They have money, they give money to engineers, and the engineers will do whatsoever. And if the building collapses, the engineers will give them one reason or the other. All these people, engineer will take money from you. Structural person will take money from you. Then he will now leave the job with the draftsmen. You understand? Draftsmen are on the ground supervising. He is in the office taking the money. When there is a problem, they will call TVC. You will see them, the town planner, the architect, structural engineers, they will come up with defending themselves. How can you rationalize that kind of storyboarding in Ikoyi that is handled?
All right, thank you very much, Hassan. So I think much has been said concerning building collapse, and I think we've raised the various important issues, having churches on various levels because of the original design of the house is not compatible with what is being used for. And that's a major issue on its own. And in this case that we're talking about in Asaba, we're still going to continue to watch what happens, who takes responsibility, especially because from what Nima said, their rent is probably not due. And the new owner probably also notified them of renovation. So who takes responsibility? That's something we need to check up and follow up on.
2 children are dead.
And yeah, 2 children are dead. What happens? Do we close down the church completely? And this is really, I mean, our hearts go out to the families of these 2 children and the woman.
The woman
that died. May their soul rest in peace. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing about these apps, and these fraudulent apps, I would say. And we'll be inviting the Director of Corporate Communications, the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Osita Nwanisobi, to join us later this week to shed light, because we need clarity and we need to know what CBN is doing concerning this. A lot of young people obviously are committing suicide, and this seems to be young, really young people. You know, more adults can almost kind of manage this, but young, between your 18 to 30, are still trying to get their life together, and this is quite frustrating for many of them.
This is not a generalization, but most of the young people, fund lifestyle, they necessarily do not need with these monies that they borrow. So someone said to me that, you know, I just wanted to change my phone.
Yes. The
phone has been bad for a while. I just wanted to change it. So I said, well, I didn't have a phone till I was about 20, and even did not fall.
But that was a different generation.
No, because that's the point.
Yeah, but if you cannot afford the phone,
if you cannot afford it, there's nothing to be ashamed about. See, now thief and shame.
Loads of messages.
Let's take a few messages, because we have
loads of messages. Toluwalope Matthew says, now it's almost a year. I still receive an embarrassing message about someone. Okay, she was continuing a story. Since I don't have the beginning. Okay, say a friend's husband was robbed in Lagos, and before they knew it, they used his phone to collect a loan. A year after, I'm still receiving embarrassing messages about him from loan companies. They have to tender police reports every time they get these messages. Someone else says the interests are outrageously exorbitant. Governments can't regulate them because they aren't registered. And they are faceless. People should boycott them and live within their means.
Let me take Shaya. Okay. I'll come back. Shaya, are you there? Hello, Shaya. I think it's Lewis now. Hi, Lewis. Are you there? Hello, Lewis. Okay, take it.
If your Kote says these apps are what the government wants to ban, not crypto.
Hello?
Yes, Lewis, are you there? Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, you're live.
I can hear you. Good morning.
Yes, go ahead, you're live.
Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning. Hello?
I can hear you. Listen to me, not the TV. Yes,
Hello?
Go ahead, you're live.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, I have to speak in respect to the topic. Yeah, I have experienced same thing. You get, and
yes, go ahead, Tokwe.
So, Ade Dotso says, it's not that people don't want to pay back, but according to the report, interest rate is making it difficult for them to pay back. Then someone else says, truth is truth. You don't borrow to fund a lifestyle like most of our yeye-bitches.
Well, I don't want us to generalize. Yeah, I know it's easy to generalize, but there's some people that actually do for family. They are poor.
That are health
Many
related.
of them, yes, health related.
Yes.
Their families who cannot fend for themselves.
Yes.
They're trying to support mom and dad. So it's not all. The easiest argument is lifestyle. But sometimes it's not.
Recklessness,
You know?
but there are those that are health related. They want to buy their diabetes drugs. They want to buy BP
I know how
drugs.
much we pay for cancer. I mean, I know how much these things is crazy. So you can imagine somebody who doesn't have no means of funding it. So the point, therefore, is the advice: boycott these guys. Maybe that's why we come back to the old African, the old-fashioned way of just borrowing from family and friends. I'm told Louis is back. Louis, are you there? Hello, Louis.
So borrowing from family and friends is the most abused form of borrowing. Just in November, a friend of mine just reached out and said, can I get a loan till next week Tuesday? I have some issues with my bank. This is someone whose lifestyle I see constantly doing well. I had no reason to suspect that, she would be that kind of person. And the amount of money I couldn't even afford, but I thought, she must have a pressing need. And I sacrificed. And I'm still sacrificing because the person is no longer picking my call. And so when a family member or friend reaches out tomorrow, and I'm using the same template now to generalize and say, I cannot be running after you for money. Because that's one thing I hate to do. I only give out what I can afford to give out, something I don't have to run after to collect. I cannot be running after you for anything. So that one too is abused. One thing I don't like to do is ask someone for that kind of assistance. I always believe that you must have to suffer some inconveniences to help me with it. The way I grew up, I have lived in my house. There was a time that Gary and Granot coconut, it was the 3-day meal.
Let's take a few more messages.
You would have suffered some hardship that would teach you life.
Truth is saying, this is where EFCC is supposed to come in. Certified Agbaya says the guy needs to sue them and drain their entire money. See, because T and C does not include pasting his obituary. Cannot be included in terms and conditions. Now, I've gotten text messages, not one, not two, 5 days default from the same person with her name. Like 5 messages on text message, then on WhatsApp. This company keep continuing to send me over and over messages, bugging my space. And I don't even know the person. What's the process for me to get redress? Because this is abuse of my own space. Because my number is on somebody's phone, does not mean you should not be sending me the person's name, phone number, and how the person has defaulted for 5 days. And they are reminding me every day to help you call the person to pay your money. Yeah. So okay, that's supposed to be covered by a law somewhere.
Let me take Samuel, then I come to Mariam. Samuel, are you there? Hello, Samuel, are you there? Hello, Samuel. Hello, Samuel, are you there? Go ahead, Mariam.
Okay, we're talking about going back to family and friends. So one of the things that helps with family and friends is that they would know if, when you're asking, how often you ask and what it is that you're going through. So for some people, they would not want to go to family and friends because they know the full story. So those are the sort of people that would go through apps like this. Then secondly, there are those who are just really going through a tough time for an extended period, and they've asked before, and they're feeling really bad to come and ask you again. So usually those sort of people also end up in a place like that. You have someone who is a co-worker, you don't really know each other that much, and is feeling a bit embarrassed to ask. So sometimes it's easier to ask someone who doesn't really know you. So those are the sort of people that I feel this sort of cash app prey upon. And the only thing I feel is people can borrow, there's nothing wrong with that, but government should be able to just regulate in such a way that it's done with dignity. Yeah. You can collect your money back with dignity. Regulate it with the balance
for the lenders and for the...
Let's go to a quick. I would really like to get more messages because this seems like people who have experienced. I would really like to get calls from people who have actually experienced it because we're bringing in someone from CBN sometime this week to shed some light on this. So it's good for them to hear people's different stories on this matter. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing these fraudulent apps. Truthfully, I was hearing about it almost today, and I was really shocked by how many people have been affected by these apps. And the fact that lots of people loan money. And my own worry, my own number one worry is the fact that their strategy of defaming people, you know, dehumanizing people in certain with their words and, you know, messing up your reputation with people, with your loved ones, and how that drives you mentally to suicide. Yeah. Now, for me, as my Christian antenna goes up, is there a spirit that is, I mean, we have to, because why would young people commit suicide because people are calling you that, are you going somewhere, are you going somewhere? What could it, how could that lead?
Why do people commit suicide?
So because you're embarrassed, you're now committing suicide.
It's about resilience. People cannot take it. Why do some people, there was a case of someone that attempted suicide in Ilorin, I think a year or two ago, one woman. Why? She was owing too many people, and they had been coming to drag her at home. And so she went to the bridge and was going to jump, simply because she could not just imagine what the embarrassment. So people do things because they feel ashamed. That I can't look at myself, I can't stare at myself in the face, I'm so disappointed, and then they try to commit suicide. So of course we should teach people to be more resilient, but before we go there,
it is not a solution when you kill yourself after owing, because usually when you enter into this agreement, even your descendants, your heirs, your next of kin, they will not know peace. They will not know peace, especially if you live a collateral. So live a clean, simple life. Life where no wahala.
Let me take this call. I'll come back to you, Nima. Good morning. Are you there? Hello? Aminat. For real now. Aminat.
For real.
That was what Buki told me. Okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Nima.
Yes, good morning.
Certified Agbaya says, Nima keeps mentioning lifestyle. They don't need to. Funny because it seems she doesn't know what is going on the street. That a lot of people are hungry, inflation is killing. Auntie or guy, wherever you are, I'm the one who knows better. And I'm the one who have seen this and I keep explaining. Why is it embarrassing to eat your food within your house?
Without meat.
Within your means. Do you have to snap it? I had a friend, a person I knew had her sister who had serious difficulty about her rent. And the moment we sent 20,000, one stupid child of hers who needs to keep up with the Johnsons took the money to buy a phone. The woman now fainted under the pressure of hawking, trying to raise the money that we were trying to bail her out of. You know how I felt? Me that I am trying to solve that problem, I don't have it easy. I just thought, okay, make it easier for this person. I think that's a better sacrifice. Right. And I had to sometimes deny my children certain luxuries that they deserve because I'm
on necessities.
On necessities. Because of that. So a lot of young people need to open their eyes and clear and get out of this image-making lifestyle that they live on.
So, Ogumola, let me go on a break. When we come back, we continue. We'll wrap up this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, take some messages, please.
Yes, so Gumola Emmanuel says, it's not my fault that as a company, you decided to give out loans without collateral/vetting guarantors details. These firms don't vet details. I can drop TMO's details to secure a loan without her consent. Corey Williams says, you know, we have loans on banks and title loans that they aren't bad. Then someone answered that it's very difficult to get loans on the official banks. They will not give you those loans easily. Another person said, I've never heard about these loan apps before. Oluwaseun says it can be regulated. They can regulate with BVN. There should be a system that will check defaulters from their bank account so they know when money drops and collects it. Okay,
so we'll discuss all these regulatory issues when we have a spokesperson from CBN, but it's just to share our experience. I really like to get calls from people who have actually gone through this. It's important to hear from them, and if we can get messages of that. But
I just also wanted to say that, you know, you were asking what the reason is for embarrassing people like that, if it's a spiritual thing. I think why they also send it across your contact is, okay, if you're afraid to ask people, we'll help ask you for you. So they know they will not get it for you. They are likely to get it from all the other people who may feel, embarrassed for your sake, and put monies together. So I think they have studied like the human psychology and understand how people feel. They understand that people are vulnerable and the sort of things that can get Nigerians. Well, it's not even a Nigerian thing. We've heard of people in Wall Street, jumping out of windows because, they've gone bankrupt and things like that. So that's someone that's an
emotional blackmail.
Yes, an emotional blackmail. But we need to also talk about, I understand that things are tough in Nigeria, but also need to talk about this lifestyle thing. It's a culture that is quickly rising amongst our young people. We have to look at things differently.
We have time. There's a lot of
take what you can afford.
It's a huge conversation. So you're right. Let me take Vivian. I'll come back to this. Vivian, are you there? Hello, Vivian from Abuja. Are you there? Okay, so it's official. Our phone lines are just not working today.
So I see someone claiming to be broke that wants to borrow money from me, and the hair on her head is past my own.
Oh, she's there. Hello, Vivian.
I'm able to get through my first time.
The volume is a bit low.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Vivian. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, Vivian. Can you hear me?
Something is
Yes, Mariah. Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead,
ladies.
please. You're live.
Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, so I'm a first-time call, actually, a lover of your show.
Thank you.
Okay, now, so let me quickly say, this same issue has happened to me. Some time ago last year, I began to get a random text message, threatening text messages, that has to do with someone I met just once. This guy, I met him once. Of course, we are in the market. Of course, we want to get married, we want to get hooked up and all of that. We exchanged numbers, and we met just once. Of course, I knew that, of course, we're not going to continue seeing, because seeing him, I knew that we were not going to be friends. All right? Now, I called the guy. I said, how come somebody is calling me that you're owing? And they are threatening to publish your name and mine. They hacked on his phone or whatever, how they did it, and got his number. And, the guy apologized and everything, and was like, this is someone I haven't seen him the second time in the last 6 years or 7 years.
Thank you, Vivian. Thank you so much. So this is obviously very right.
So you come and ask for money, and you look richer. Your handbag, I cannot afford. I've said this story on several platforms, that somebody came to meet me when I was doing the makeup scholarship, doing free trainings for people, and she came to apply for a free training that was costing me money per person. And the handbag she was carrying, I'm like, this handbag is so beautiful. How much is it? She said, she bought it for 10,000 naira on Instagram. At that time, my dear brothers and sisters, I would never, even till now, for me to buy a handbag of 10,000 naira, I would really calculate it. So I saw the bag and I was wondering, you're coming for a free training, like you need to learn how to make a living, and you bought a bag of 10, you had the money, you didn't pay for a box, you didn't buy things that will earn you. At that time in my life, every kobo I had was going into buying a makeup tool or camera or something. We need to understand that there are seasons where you can flex, and there are seasons where everything you're doing is to sow a seed that can bring you further resources. And there is no job that must be embarrassing for you to do on that space.
That even triggers your helper to give you money. That even triggers family and friends. So you know what? Every penny we give her, she's buying a camera, she's buying the toolbox. You know what? I would like to support that. When they see you dressing with all the shoes and bags and everything,
the money that they should work for her, then they will now give you to keep funding lifestyle that they don't support.
We're talking about the girls, but the boys. The boys are under a lot of pressure.
Yes.
They're under a lot of pressure.
Now. If you go online now, you hear boys saying things like, don't give your salary to the girl. The things they used to fund were the lifestyle of the girls. So the girl is your girlfriend, she's just telling you I love you, and then you start to fund her lifestyle. Boys are wiser now. They are focusing on the things that they need to focus. Girls too should be wiser. You see this whole image thing. Wear what you can afford, not what is expensive. You don't have to show the label to anybody. How do they score for jam?
Well, do you know what? I don't know if boys are wiser. And I really think we should talk to our boys. Because boys want to be they're looking up to the Davidos and the Wizkids. they see the work that they are putting in, but they also want the lifestyle. But that lifestyle is funded by the work that they are putting in. You want to drive the nice cars, you want to wear the big watches, you want to have girlfriends and take them out and do all this sort of spending that you cannot afford. A lot of people then, before these apps came about, you would go to your parents and they would give you what they can. Right. But now you have apps that would, you know, even without your parents' knowledge, you're able to do these things, and then you find yourself in trouble. Okay. The way you're smiling at me, you're hurrying me up. Okay.
Because I have to wrap up. I have to wrap up with because of the issue of suicide. We cannot wrap up this show without bringing in somebody who's an expert in this issue of suicide to help young people out there, especially those who are in this predicament at this time. We're going to bring in Mr. Theo Akatiba, who is going to be explaining to us young people who are in debt right now. What can you tell them, and how can they get out of this problem at this time?
This is a very disturbing and difficult situation. You know, first of all, we have always clamored that it is easier to get loan in developed societies. And you didn't know that it is a trap that a lot of them have entered into. Now, our young people are falling into that trap of debt because of how easy it is to access this debt. I hope I'm on air.
Yes, you are.
And the ease with which you obtain the credit is how much danger that you seem to face. And a lot of people are now living above their means, and they are easily able to go after these loans. And when it's time to pay, a lot of them did not calculate and did not even reckon with that the few 2 weeks or 3 weeks given to you will soon be around the corner. And once that comes, the embarrassment that follows drives them to a frenzy. Some of them who do not have the courage begin to take the easy way out. What I want to tell such people is never to consider suicide or taking your life as a way out of the debt you owe. Because the debt remains unpaid, and there is no debt that is not reckoned with, both in this life and in the life thereafter. So there is no escape from it. The only way is to work diligently and renegotiate your debt, face those you owe with courage, not being ashamed or afraid of them, and discussing your situation. Even though the activities of these app companies are a bit illegal, a lot of them are illegal, and some of their acts and activities are currently being looked at by the government. But my advice to those who are in trouble is that debt has never been a solution out of any situation. For your life is not in your hand, and taking it is more of a grievous offense and a sin than the debt that you owe. But facing your debt squarely makes you a better person in life, because for every challenge that you overcome, you become stronger and you become better.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you so much.
You nailed it for us. Thank you very much. We have to wrap up, but you're going to say something.
I want to say something that a lot of family members are also putting their children under a lot of pressure. I think that as a parent, I know that you have invested in your child and you feel like the child should take care of you, but you also need to be sure that the child is ready, has the finances to properly take care of you. Stop asking children to just find a way to bring money into the house, because sometimes they resort to crime and resort to fraud or cases like loan apps, which puts you under more pressure. Please.
Okay, on that note, we wrap up on this show. Thank you very much. As I said, later this week, we're going to bring in a spokesperson from CBN to shed one light on what the regulatory body is doing to curb these types of apps that are causing people generally to commit suicide. That's all we can take. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.